Okay, so we have been talking about patterns, trauma, pain bodies, whatever you want to call it. For the context of what we're about to do in the next few videos, I'm going to call them incompletions, right? This isn't even technically um incompletions, right? A diagram is just a quick visual list. So this video is going to sort of briefly and simply explain what we have to do. And the meetings that we're going to have this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to actually practice it and learn more about it. And as I get your feedback and questions, I will revise this and go into more detail. So for now, a quick summary. So you have to identify your incompletions. And as with everything, you need the will to do so, right? Um, God, your higher self, is your the spirit within you, your guides, nobody can force you to see them. You will see them when you are willing and ready to see them. And this is part of the co-creation also, because you're talking to to your higher self, to the spirit within. And you're saying, I am ready for this. Let us undertake this journey. And then you get will and grace. I just got that. Okay. Wow. Okay. Anyhow, so the next thing you need is grace. Grace is so will is where you ask for help. Grace is when the help comes, right? And to see a pattern, to be aware of the fact that you have been influenced by something for decades is something that occurs at the level of consciousness. To see yourself is a very difficult thing to do. In the same way that if you only lived in the same community your entire life, never had television, never had radio, never saw anything online, never traveled, never went anywhere, you could not possibly know that you speak with an accent. You cannot hear yourself compared to other people. You just can't. There's certain things that you just can't perceive. If you try to look at your own face without a mirror or a camera, you can't do it without a reflection. You cannot turn around and see yourself. It's a difficult thing to do. Grace is when your spirit shows something to you, brings it to your awareness. That's the second step. Um, then, I mean, I can add the word will everywhere. You have to want to see what you see, acknowledge it, and say, I'm done with it. But let's just assume that this is a process that you're willfully undertaking, that you say your surrender prayer, you ask for this help, you wake up every morning, you say, okay, let's keep going. Thank you for your help. I ask for more help. Let's do this. So the next step now becomes what is called um in completion. In the Eastern culture, it's called completion. So incompletion is an energetic blockage caused by the incomplete expression of an emotion that occurred during trauma. And it is stuck in you and it is governing you. It is what we know as pain bodies. Completion is where you put this to rest. So when you ask for help and then grace shows you your patterns, how is this going to look? It's going to look like just a quiet knowing, just like a sudden realization. Things are just going to pop up in your meditation, in your moments of stillness, or even while you are engaged in an incompletion based pattern and a pain body. You'll suddenly sort of separate from it for a second and go, what am I doing? Have I always been this way? So that quiet knowing comes, and then you go through completion. Completion is where you move from the statement, I am blank. So let's say I am hurt. Whatever. This is, a oversimplification for the sake of writing it down. You move from saying I am hurt to there is hurt. That journey out is the act of completion. And what that is I don't even know how to describe this, but let's just say that this is your sense of self. I am who I am, what I am, how I am. And this is the incomplete pain pattern trauma that's inside of you. and you are so tightly wound with it that there is no space, there is no distance. It's just an entity, and you move through the world as one solid form. And what you have to do now, again, all of this is grace. Grace is your higher self showed you the pattern because it knows that you are ready to heal and release it. It's not going to bring up something that is going to shake you to your core that you're not ready to heal. It brought it up because you're able. It brought it up because it's willing to work with you to do this. So, what now that you sit and you do the process, you're going to create space. So, just, symbolically here, eventually there's going to be like a gap in between what you call the pain and what you call you. That's the completion process. It is a gap in consciousness. It is a process of saying, I am not that. Right? So I guess you could say in between here, right? If you go from I am hurt to there is hurt, you say, I am hurt. I am not the hurt. There is hurt, right? And the steps for doing that, so it would be like 3-1, 3-2, whatever. The steps would be observe the memory. So you when your higher self identifies a pattern that has been lodged in you for a while, it will show you one of the places that this originated from. Chances are it originated and got entrenched in your system over multiple instances, but there's probably like one resounding moment where you're like, yep, that's kind of where that started. And you just simply sit in meditation, know that you're supported. I light a candle and an incense so that my senses can remember you are in ceremony. You are being helped. Your spirit is here, God is here, you're okay. Do not freak out. It's fine. Don't get distracted, don't drift. That's what the candle and the incense are for. You create your setting in whatever way you want, put on some music, go out in nature, whatever works for you, and make the decision to observe the memory. Look back at that child, that 5-year-old, 7-year-old child going through that experience, and say, and watch it as an adult, as a complete, well, strong, stable adult. Look at it and be like, wow, whew, that happened to a kid, man. That's rough. There will be emotions, but the emotions will not overwhelm you because your spirit has chosen to give you something that is no longer overwhelming to you. So what is coming up is unpleasant, but not devastating. And you look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Let's say 3 or 4 times, whatever. You'll know when there's a distance. The first time you look at it, you cringe a little bit. You go, oh goodness, I can't believe that happened. And then you watch it again, you're like, oh man, that happened to a kid. And then you watch it again and you say, okay, I'm so sorry. You give that kid a hug. And you don't have to do anything. This isn't like, some shadow work or inner child work. You actively talk to the child and heal it. You don't have to do any of this. That's not the point of this particular exercise. This particular exercise is creating space between you and the experience. So observe it and relive it a few times, but remember that you are the adult in the present moment looking back at the child in the past. Do not go into the past and relive it as the child, right? So you observe the memory. Then you remember again in a mirror. So literally go and stand in front of a mirror and let the memory of that incident come to mind again, remember it again, look at yourself in the mirror. Know that I am a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old woman in today, 2025, and I am remembering what happened back then. And tell the reflection in the mirror, you remember what happened back then? And then tell the child, whatever you need. There's no very, very specific way to do this. Tell the child back then, I'm sorry that this happened to you, but today is a different day and look at how good life is today. You don't really have to get into too much discussion, but the purpose of this is to relive the memory today, to look at yourself and realize I today am okay here now. That happened to another being. It happened to another a person who isn't here right now a long time ago. So do that, 3 or 4 times. You'll know it. It will feel ridiculous. That is the point. Then tell someone. I know that this may be very private, very intimate. You don't have to tell a human being, but you can. Maybe you have a friend, your mom, your sister, whatever. Or if you don't want to tell a living human being, look at someone's picture. Literally any human being, pull up a picture somewhere on your phone, whatever. There's a picture of your grandmother in your house, whatever. Look at someone and tell them the story of what happened. Say, when I was 5 years old, my brother used to bully me. And one time he bullied me so bad I cried, or I peed myself, or whatever it is that happened. Say it. Say it a few times, 3 or 4 times. Say it to that person. So there's no need to do anything. You don't have to like apologize to the child or anything like that. You just have to relive the memory. This is about the memory, and it's about creating distance. Creating distance between your sense of I, and the memory. And you want this gap to become bigger. And it's not dissociation. It's not saying that didn't happen to me, la 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 la. No, it's realizing that you are carrying something. If a strand of hair fell out of your body 10 years ago, you would not still keep it in your pocket. If you clipped your nails 10 years ago, you would not carry that with you, because you understand the concept that your body that existed 10 years ago no longer exists today. The pocket of consciousness that was a 5-year-old overwhelmed child does not exist today. The memory of what happened to that child, the pain and the emotion, the energetic scar of what happened to that child has been carried with you. But that actual child does not exist anymore. So you want to create a distance, and you will suddenly realize it, and grace will help you. Grace will make you realize this no longer hurts. When you begin on round one up here, and then you end up on round four down here, you'll realize, oh gosh, wow, I can't believe I carried that for so long. I can't believe I allowed that to be a background fear that directed everything that I did for so long. So again, we'll go through this during the meeting this weekend. But when that memory, or that, let's call it incompletion because it was originally an incompletion, when there is sufficient space between you and that incompletion, you no longer say, I am this pain. And now that you don't own it anymore, now that it is not attached to your being anymore, now you have the ability to surrender it. You can't turn a memory back into consciousness. You can't turn energy back into consciousness. You can't turn emotions back into consciousness. But your higher self can. Spirit can. That inner being inside of the chariots can. So in your moments of prayer and meditation, in whatever form that takes, surrender it and say, thank you for showing me the pattern. It is no longer mine. It no longer serves me. I surrender it to you. Take it from me. It is literally as simple as that. But this is a declaration of your will. And that is super important. Spirit will not bully you into doing it. You have to declare, I don't want this anymore. I see what it did to me. I see where it came from. I don't want it anymore. Take it from me. And all of this, I'll put it as number 5, but it really belongs here and here and here and here. All of this occurs in stillness, in presence, in meditation, in the spaces that you create where where you stop identifying with this stream of thoughts running through the mind, where you allow yourself to detect the stillness at your core, and where you allow yourself to detect the higher level of consciousness within you. So this is absolutely critical. This is where you even realize that I need to ask for some help and change. And this is where you realize that the voice inside of you, the spirit inside of you, is helping you and pointing you to things that need to change. This is where the memories come. This is where you have the strength and the support of spirit to relive and to distance yourself. And this is where you speak to the inner self and say, inner self, take it from me. And then when it's taken from you, this is how what you bask in when you feel, that feels good. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So I hope this makes sense. We will discuss this a little bit more this weekend. I want you guys to try it, um, and message me. Tell me what you experience, if this isn't clear or whatever, and I will get into it again. I'll make another video. We'll do a dedicated session, whatever is needed. Let me know. So I hope you enjoy the videos this week. I look forward to seeing you this weekend, and enjoy your week. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.